rising storm. I'm forged in the fire, a new heart reborn. With every breath, with every stride, God, I'm your warrior, with you as my guide. Through the valleys of shadow, through the rising storm, I'm forged in the fire, a new heart reborn.
Hey everybody, I hope everyone is doing wonderful. My unicorn warriors, I hope you are having a beautiful, wonderful, fabulous day. I know we have spoke before about Regina Ward. I hope this mount stays. But I noticed that which I can understand. Regina not being too happy with me for putting out some things and having some questions, but she's been doing a lot more talking and stuff on TikTok, and of course we've seen some of the interviews, or went over some of the interviews and things that she's had, like with Crime and Cask and Luna Shark Media and their podcast, and I think even RH. So, but and like I said, I can understand why she wouldn't be too much of a fan of mine. That's great. But I mean, I really have like genuine questions that I've really been trying to get answered. And like she's done like a round table, and I think she's gonna be doing more on TikTok, and where she's like taking questions, and I think and she did one, and it was someone that I can say I know personally. I mean, I've never met this person in real life, but I mean, they've always looked out for me since the case, and they still do look out for me, because, you know, like a lot of y'all know, like I don't keep up with the TikTok drama, and I'm not like too TikTok savvy and everything, but I mean, she still keeps a lookout for me, and I appreciate that. And I had went and watched I want to say it was the first round table that Regina Ward did, and I went to go comment. Now, of course, you could see I was in, that I was watching, because it pops up and says, my name, and I'm watching. And but I went to go comment something, and I was muted, which, okay. And I noticed too that whenever I did come in there, I take it she saw my name, and kind of made a comment that was directed towards me. And I know it was towards me, because I haven't heard anybody else really talk about the whole what do you call it? filtering information and evidence through for the FBI. Now I was watching something earlier, and I got to thinking about that. Okay, well, I could understand why someone would feel more comfortable going to her or her office if they want to remain anonymous. So I mean, I can understand that, but I do have some questions, and if Regina Ward could help me get a better understanding of some of the things that I pointed out and questioned, I mean, that would be great. So I figured I would do this in order to get it out there on a more, not like I'm going after her or trying to badmouth her or anything like that. I mean, I'm in this for truth and justice. So I mean, and some things I do believe need to be clarified. And one thing, since like the beginning, I want to know if Mica ever spoke with you about going to the different attorneys and them turning her case down whenever they found out who it would be going up against. Did she ever talk about that? And if she did, what was the reasons? Why would they not take her case when they found out who they were going against? And what was it about her case that stood out to you to where you took it? Alright, so what was it about when Mica came to you with her case? What was it that made you want to take it out of all the other attorneys that turned her down? We know it couldn't have been too much money on, and I'm not saying this like in a bad, like, I'm not trying to sound bad saying this, but we know that, you know, Mica was pretty much starting over, and, you know, like, she didn't have the funds to really hire an attorney, and especially one like you, Regina, because I mean, I have read that you are good at your job, and you know, I've read your reviews, and I've heard both good and bad about you. So but and I know that, you know, like, Regina Ward doesn't take, you know, anybody's case unless, you know, they got money or something. Now, whether or not that's true or not, I don't know. I don't know you personally, but I have often tried to ask these questions. That what was it about Mica's case, out of all the other attorneys that she went to and they denied her, what was it about her or her case that made you decide to take it? And I think that's a genuine question, because that helps us give an understanding of what the fight that she was having to go through in order to get away from JP. And it also gives an understanding of, like, even like the mental health aspect of things, you know. And I know some of these things from personal experience, not saying, you know, like Mica's case or, you know, whatever, but I mean from personal experience, from people in my life that were close that went through a very similar thing. And when mental health does get thrown into things, it does kind of muddy the waters. And, you know, unfortunately, in the court system, you know, if they think that you have a mental illness or something, you know, they often turn their head and think that, you know, you can't be taken seriously. And so, and I take it that did not play a factor at all with you, Regina, because, I mean, you took her case. So, I mean, that says something. And there was a reason that you did. There was something that led you to do that. And I know it couldn't have been all financial in the beginning, because Mica was having to borrow money, and, you know, she didn't have the funds. So I genuinely just want to know, like, what was it, what made you take her case? And did she ever talk about the other attorneys and why they didn't take her case? Alright, so this, I'm just gonna do this as like question 1 for Regina Ward, and I hope and I pray that you don't think that I'm like trying to come at you sideways or anything, because I'm not. Like, I'm genuinely trying to get, like, and I think that would be like a good thing for you, you know, too, because it'd be like, well, you know, I felt some kind of bond, or I don't know. I mean, I don't know. But I'm just saying. So, and I also understand too, from personal experience, that a lot of times with like so-called, like, going against, like, say, a school system or something within your city, you know, not a lot of attorneys are going to take that case that's local. You're going to have to go out of town or somewhere different in order for someone to take that case, or like against the hospital. I'm not saying that's always the case, but it is it can be at times. So I'm just trying to, I just want to know, like, why did other attorneys turn her down, and what led you, or what had you, you know, say, hey, I will take your case, I will help you. And I guess question 2 while I'm thinking about it. So I'll do question 1 and 2. Did Mica ever express to you that she feared for her life? And if she did, and even if she didn't, like, you knew, and I'm not putting anything of this on you or anything like that, so please don't take it that way. But even if she didn't express that she felt that her life was in danger, like, she still gave you evidence, and she, you know, like, she trusted you, so, which is understandable. You're her attorney. And so you knew that there was this cohesive control and other abuse going on. Was there any kind of resources or any kind of help, I mean, like, beyond you, that was given to her in order to help her in the situation? Now, I know, you know, there's not a DV shelter in Myrtle Beach. And I know you spoke about having one opened up, and it's great that you want to do that. And I know someone that is trying to get that started. So actually, if me and you could talk, that would be great, because, you know, maybe I could help both of y'all out. But was there ever any mention or talk of any kind of resources that she could call, that she could go to, you know, anything that would help her in her situation to help keep her safe? So that would be question number 2. And I mean, I'm not an attorney. I haven't gone to school to be an attorney or anything, so I would assume that an attorney is allowed to do that, to help a client, and especially if their life, especially if they're feeling like their life is in danger or could be in danger. And so I just want to know that too. Like, was there ever any talk of resources or steps or things that she could do in order to keep herself safe? So that'll be, I'll do this as question 1 and 2, and then I have some more too, which I'll go into more later, but I don't want to make like a whole long video. So Regina, if you see this, which I hope you do, I would like to call a truce. And seriously, like, I want to get answers for some of these questions, and I think they're very important questions, and I think it's very important for it to be discussed, because it could also help other victims, you know, on where and how and what to expect, you know, and what to be able to do in order to get help, and help other attorneys, educate other attorneys, and, you know, other people within that field. It could help educate, and people learn, like, okay, so if someone comes to us, you know, with this, what are their rights, what are our rights for our client, what we can do for our client, what we can't do, and what can be changed. So, Regina, I'm asking for a truce, and I understand you don't care for me, but I mean, I have seen some questionable things, but if you want to call a truce, and, you know, me and you could have a conversation and get some of these answers, you know, that would be wonderful. So, yeah, so, I'm gonna go ahead and stop this, and if today's your birthday, happy birthday, and I love y'all, and comment like, subscribe, follow, whatever. And if you have any questions you want me to try and get answers for, let me know in the comments. Love y'all. Bye. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, and comment. Let me know your thoughts. And if today's your birthday, happy birthday!